All right. My name is Elaine Plybon, and I am currently an instructional resource trainer in Keller ISD. Today I'll mostly be talking about an organization that I created when I was working at Irving. But before I do that, I just wanted to give you kind of an overview of what my presentation is going to be. Our presentations all have to do with STEM and getting kids interested in STEM careers and the things that we do in order to achieve that goal. Mine is specifically about girls, and so I thought I'd give you a little bit of background. First off, where are we now? Well, we have all heard about the gender achievement gap. Over the last 10 years, that gap has actually closed significantly. We really don't have that much of an issue with girls not achieving the way that they should be achieving, with the exception of high achieving tests such as the SAT, which we're still working on. But where we are right now, the issue that I'm trying to solve right now, is that in the computer science industry, we are only represented by 27% of the workers in the computer science industry. So it's much like this panel here. We have one woman and 3 men, which is all right, but it would be so much better if we could get closer to equity there. The sad part about there only being 27% is that means that only 20% of the girls who actually make it all the way through college and get a degree in computer science get a job and keep it in computer science. That's a problem. We as educators in the K-12 or even K through higher ed can do all we can to keep them excited through that period of time. Once they get out there in the job field, though, there's something happening. I wanted to give you a couple of words that are a little bit of a vocabulary lesson today. The first word is message. I'm going to tell you a story, and I want you to think about the word message. So about a year ago, one of my girlfriends from high school sent me a Facebook message that had a link on it, and it said, "Can you believe this?" So of course, curiosity got to me, and I went and clicked on the link, and I found a blog that had been written by a gentleman who is a scientist at JPL, the Jet Propulsion Laboratories. And he was talking about a teacher that he had when he was in high school who had been really instrumental in encouraging him, building his confidence, etc., and literally made him pursue being a rocket scientist. The reason why my friend had said, "Can you believe this?" is that this was also our high school chemistry teacher that was being talked about in this blog post. Our experience in her classroom was very, very different. She made us feel like we did not belong there. She told us we did not belong there. She did not let us touch the science equipment in her laboratory. We had to stand by as the boys did it. I mean, literally, it was that blatant. By the end of the semester, I would walk out of her classroom and drop out. Now, mind you, it was not a required course. I chose to take chemistry that year because I was interested in it. I would walk out of her classroom at semester, and I would not walk back into a science laboratory for 20 years. 20 years. I'm a high school science teacher. That's what I am. And for 20 years, I was not in a science classroom. So we need to think about the message that we send to our girls. Speaking of messages, this is an advertisement out of a trade magazine. I couldn't ever find the actual date on it. I'm guessing it's somewhere in the 70s, got the go-go boots and the miniskirt. But this is what women were portrayed as in relationship to technology. She's a model, and she's holding a modem. That big box is a modem.
It's a modem.
Yeah. And technology could maybe even be sexy. That's the message that was being sent then. So we like to think that in 2013, we've really come a long way. And I'm going to warn you, the next couple of pictures that I put up here are offensive. I'm just going to tell you that right off the bat. This is the first one. If you can't see what it says up here, it says, "Keep on dreaming of a better world." And we've got the best thing in the world would be a woman on a bed with a game controller coming out of her belly button. Now you might say, well, this magazine is actually from a gentleman's magazine. So our girls aren't seeing that. So that couldn't possibly be affecting their decision to not be in STEM careers. The next one, which is probably even worse, our girls will see. This came out of a trade magazine. So our girls graduate from college. They make it through computer science or engineering, etc. They subscribe to a trade magazine because that's what you do to be a better in your field. And they open it up and they see this. I'm just going to leave it at that with that part because I think I've made my point on it. What this is beautiful. We have an advertisement for Legos. They're not pink. They don't have high-heeled little plastic high-heeled shoes. They don't have anything that's traditionally, oh, we'll do this to make it good for girls. This is a regular girl. She has decided to build something, and it's beautiful. This is the message that we need to be sending to our girls. Sometimes we tend to just make it pink. And there's been a lot of talk over the last couple of years about Lego specifically, making a lot of pink stuff and making it about hair salons and things like that. There was actually a nationwide study that tried to find out what are women's favorite color. Does anybody have a guess?
Red.
It's blue, just like everybody else in the country. It's over 50%. Male or female, our favorite color is blue. So let's stop putting pink on it. So then what do we do? What we can do is something like what I did in my school in Irving. It's a career and technology school. The first floor is science and engineering. It's our STEM academy. And when you walk through the halls in that STEM academy, this room has one girl in it. The next room has maybe one or two girls in it. The next room maybe doesn't have any. And what we were experiencing is that at semester, those girls would move upstairs to the medical floor because they felt, there is nobody here that understands me. There is nobody, I'm not with anybody that understands what I'm going through. So we created this organization called Girls of Technology. What Girls of Technology aimed to do is to put that one girl here, that's two girls here, together so they would understand that there was about 45 of them on our floor. That's still very low, but there was 45 of them instead of them sitting there feeling like I'm one individual girl in the sea of boys. Our idea was that we would bring in industry experts, women who had careers in STEM fields, and these women would come in during luncheons and they would talk to the girls about the realities of making it through college, making it through engineering school when you're still going to be the only girl in that program, and you're still going to experience professors such as my high school chemistry teacher who are going to discourage you away from it. And we found tremendous success. The picture on the bottom there is some of our girls actually mentoring 8th grade girls and showing them, here's what you can do. They're helping them to build robots. They're talking to them about, we had them talking to them about biotechnology and things like that. They were telling those girls all the things they've been learning on that floor. And you might notice that our population is predominantly Hispanic. So we were going against a cultural issue as well. What we actually succeeded in doing was really quite way remarkable. I mean, it was way more than what we really thought we were going to do. We also had our girls go through a lot of team building exercises, and we were just talking at the table about how teams and showing girls we can do this together is a very important thing. And so we put them through team building exercises, and these are pictures of our girls on a ropes course and zip lining, and they were working together to try to accomplish something. At the end of our very first year with this organization, I actually overheard one of my group of girls talking as they were working on a service project. They were talking about the boys' robotics club, and that they had approached the teacher of the robotics class and said, can we have a robotics team? And he said, well, yeah, you guys can come up and cheer us along. So those girls decided at that moment, we are going to do our own robotics club, and they actually got up to like second place. They beat the boys in our school, which was really exciting, but it empowered them. It gave them that push. And so we had these girls that at the start of the school year, I could walk into one of their classes and they might be being completely ignored in a class, to by the end of the year, they were being leaders in those same classes, and they were still there. We didn't lose anybody at semester like we normally did. So it was a fantastic success. I want to give you another vocabulary word. The second word is empowerment. And this is what I think is one of the most important things to kind of think about. Underlying everything, these gentlemen are going to be telling you about wonderful programs that they're doing and the successes they've had in bringing girls in to do those programs. We have to give them that underlying empowerment. And perhaps an organization such as the Girls of Technology would be a place to start. They can have their wonderful hands-on things that they're actually building things, creating things, solving problems, et cetera, and have this wrap-around kind of a community that holds them all together so that they understand, I'm going to meet with people who don't think I belong in this. That's just a fact. It's going to take us a lot longer than a couple of years to change societal messages. But if they know what they're going into and they know that they can still do it, that's what's going to empower them. The story I'm going to tell with empowerment is about my girls of technology. When we were on that ropes course, we were walking down a trail and we turned a corner and there was this big giant wall there, and the girls all started in. Oh, you're not going to make us climb that. There's no way that we can climb that. I'm not doing it. That was the kinds of things that I was hearing from them. The person who was running us through the ropes course talked to them about how they, yes indeed, were going to do that. They couldn't go anywhere else that day until they had each climbed over that wall. What happened was really fantastic. The girls figured it out. They figured out that the key to them overcoming whatever obstacle came in front of them was that teamwork. Some of the girls are wearing shirts that say Team God. They understand they're a team. And together, they work together to push each and every one of those people across that wall. The next year, I was presenting with one of the girls, and she could not stop talking about that wall. But she was talking about it in its non-literal terms, that I realized that day that there's nothing that I cannot do, that I just have to set my mind to it, and if I need to ask for help, I ask for help, and I accomplish my goals. That's empowerment. And if we can think about as we were talking about all the programs that we try to create in our STEM programs, we've got to build in that empowerment piece so that they actually make it through those programs. They're doing wonderful learning, they're doing wonderful service, but they're also understanding they can do it. That is my quick presentation.